Okay, good morning, all. And welcome to the talk this morning. My name is Steve Thill. I'm a solutions engineer here on the SEESAW team at Google. I'm joined by Murli, who's the CIO of Victoria's Secret, and Rachel Levy, who's my teammate here on the SEESAW team. So the first thing we want to talk about a little bit today is what is a SEESAW. So we went through this process with Victoria's Secrets and a number of other companies. And SEESAW stands for the Cloud Solution Accelerator Workshop. So our goal is to try to find business value really quickly. We want to focus on the users in your organization. We want to understand their business problems. And we do this through a really abbreviated design thinking workshop. These workshops are typically 1 or 2 days in length. And honestly, the first day of the workshop, we rarely talk that much about technology. It's really understanding problems that folks face, understanding the users that are involved, understanding the critical user journey, their problems, possible solutions, and really getting to the point where we really dissect this problem. I really love a quote by a gentleman by the name of James Kettering that is, "A problem well-defined is a problem half solved." And I really feel like if we spend a little bit of time with that problem and get intimate with that problem, now all of a sudden the solutions just come, and they come naturally. So that's really the crux of the SEESAW process, what we work on. And honestly, even at the end of some of these processes, we do some small builds, proof of technology, proof of concept, especially with all Gen AI happening today. We can iterate very quickly. So that's a little bit about our process. And now I'm going to have Rachel Levy talk a little bit about our solutions.
Great. Hey, I'm Rachel Levy. Like Steve said, I'm on the SEESAW team, or the Cloud Solution Accelerator Workshop team. What we think about when we were solving challenges in general with businesses is around the moonshot. I primarily love this slide because I think it is the cutest moon. The moon is just the cutest. But what we really love about it is that a well-defined moonshot is extremely important in identifying and challenges and goals. You want sort of that fuzzy 3 to 5 year out moonshot. If we think about the etymology of the phrase, it was Kennedy at the beginning of the 60s saying, hey, by the end of the decade, we're going to the moon, without any actual plans of how we're getting there, right? We just know that we're getting to the moon. But we didn't go directly there. We had a series of small iterative steps to get there, because that one shot is actually fraught with risk, right? The moon could move. Things like Gen AI or other extremely disruptive technology or economic forces at play can move. So when we think about problem solving in a SEESAW workshop, we want the definition of a moonshot, but we like to decompose the problems into a series of roof shots to mitigate the risk. So we think about saying, hey, the first roof shot, it might not be industry changing, it might not be even that glamorous, but if we can take the first directionally correct moonshot or roof shot to the moon, we can start to iterate faster. It mitigates risk, but it also helps get small wins to start to get the momentum you need, as well as to get buy-in. Especially with large organizations, there is not only technical challenge, but also political challenges, as we all probably know. And getting small wins that prove to be valuable helps get the rest of the people on the same mission as you and to help align. So to talk about exactly what we did with Victoria's Secret, I'm going to turn it to Murli.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Steve. So with the Victoria's Secret, I think when we had similar kind of situation like any other retailer does, right? The moment you heard about AI, everybody wants to jump in, but nobody wants to know where to go and where to start. So we were in the same situation. One of the situations that happened helped us to go through this process. When you go to the store today in Victoria's Secret, the customer comes to us many times and then she says, I bought this bra 5-6 years before. I want the same one. I don't know what it was. I need to go find out. If you're an experienced store associate, they can say, show me your strap. I can tell you exactly what it is. They can take you to the location. They can give you the exact size so you can complete your purchase. When you see the process in the store, and if you think about what does it mean to digital, we cannot simulate the similar kind of experience in the digital. That's when we had a brainstorming session with Google to say, how do we solve this? So when we talked about that particular use case specific, and it was a eye-opening moment saying there is a visual AI search available in Google, and then we wanted to see how we can able to leverage those. So we started this process in March 2023. We had a small workshop session, understand what the use case, what the objective was. Then we finished the prototype in 4 weeks, and then we saw there is a value there. And we put them into production in June last year, specific to one specific category. We did only for Victoria's Secret bra, not for the pink. So when we did that one, again, similar to any process, we did the A/B testing to validate, to say, is there a value for the customer? Do they see the value? Do they see the same vision that we had, what people can able to solve in the store in the digital? We saw a lot of need for the customer to use it, and then we enhance it for pink as well. So this initial win helped the people, the business side, to say what else we can do more. So that's when we had like 2 days workshop with the customer experience team. We went to Google's office in New York, went through the same exercise what Steve was walking us through, because each and every time when you bring the business team, you have to break the iceberg because they don't know what you start with. You have to open their minds up to say what is the art of the possible use cases that you can able to do. So when you do those, remove all the barriers. Forget about what you cannot do. Put everything on the table first. Bring all of them in. Document all the use cases. We took a break. We let the people to go back to their business day-to-day work. Bring them back after 2 weeks. Look at the same use case one more time. You can see a complete difference because people say, did I say that last week? Exactly, you did that one, right? So you can look at all of them one more time to validate, is that business case or the use case what I said 2 weeks before, is it still relevant or did you learn anything more? So we did bring the people from the field, the store operation, people who can say exactly what customer is asking for, because we want to close the gap between what happens in store and then bring them to the digital and vice versa. We documented all the use cases, and once they finish all the documented use cases, we have to prioritize right now because no, we cannot solve everything on day one. How do you prioritize? Think about what is the outcome it is going to bring and what is the business value it is going to drive. So we follow the OKR process, which the objective key result. We document every OKR with the key result, and that's how we prioritize the whole process. So we did for the customer team, and we did for the marketing, we did for the store operations, we did the supply chain, and that's how the whole roadmap was built in 2023. And we consolidated all of our roadmap in 3 big categories: customer experience, associate experience, operational efficiency. So we documented all of them. We found out the dependencies. The dependency could be, one of the use case could be an income input for the other one, or it could be a data. Because AA, if you want to be successful, data is the critical one. If you don't have the right set of data, building a model makes more sense. So we have to figure out, do I have the right data for this use case? Which model I should use, because it's not one model can able to solve the problem. You have to do multiple POCs, prototypes, and validate is the model 1 is working, model 2 is working, or 3, or maybe combination of both of them. So we went through the whole process, and that's how a lot of the POC has been built. A couple of them are in production, a couple of them are right now in pipeline.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Murli. One quick question we have for you is around, we've heard a little bit about what we did in the workshop and what sort of some of the work after, but how has the framework that we used during the workshop sort of been, how did that end up affecting or being integrated into how Victoria's Secret now works on problem solving and developing technology?
I think we typically always do the POCs to start with, because if you come to any product team in digital, we always have the mindset to say, build a prototype. We call them as do the minimum viable product, because don't try to boil the ocean, because you don't know what you're going to expect from the customer, and do they take it or they don't take it, we don't know. We can all anticipate, we can all expect that's going to be the reaction, because we are also part of the customer ecosystem. So we can do those, but we have to test the real use case in front of the customer and do the A/B testing. So we always have an option of do the minimum viable product first, learn from there, turn on 5%, 10% traffic, then we learn from this, and then we tweak it. So.
Awesome. I'd really love to hear, we talked about what was solved during the workshop. Can you give us an idea of what Victoria's Secret's been doing since the workshop?
So we have a lot of them are in pipelines. I cannot mention all of them right now in public because they're not in production, but definitely we are putting a lot of focus on building use cases for improving the customer experience for the digital platform. We're also trying to bring a lot of omni experience using the app to the store. So we have customer experience, we also associate experience. We're also dabbling some of the operational efficiency for department like procurement, so or legal, and then we are working on building a similar use cases for security operations. So all of them are happening in parallel. Again, I cannot mention any of them right now, but I will do it probably next time.
That's awesome. So another question we have for you is maybe not totally specific to VS, but what is top of mind for you in AI for the near future or even the slightly less near future?
I think the one I always talk about AI is it is not specific to retailer. This is for everybody, anybody in any industry or any organization or as an individual. So you can be a creative person, or you can be an artist, or you can be a musician, or you can be an healthcare provider, you can be a supply chain, logistics. You can name anybody. AI is going to make a big difference in your lifetime. And this is the pivotal moment for anybody to explore. All you need to do is have the data clean, start exploring. And you don't know what the art of the possible is going to come out of this whole process. So I would say this is the fun time to be in right in this moment and then explore what you can.